Welcome to the Black Box App Podcast. I'm your host, Kenneth Johnson. I'm extremely excited today because we have Daniel Ikem with us here today. And just let me tell you just a little bit about this gentleman. He's amazing. I kind of been peeking around the corner at some of the work he's doing in his role as Partner Development Manager at Microsoft. But really, the thing that caught my attention is that they have a Black Partner Initiative, and Daniel's really active in leading that drive. So wanted to have him on the Black Box App Podcast, reached out, connected, shared a conversation, and he decided to come through, and he is here. Daniel, what's going on, my friend? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's Thursday, Friday Junior, and just happy to be here on the podcast with you.
I was telling someone earlier that this is weekend eve, right? You're Friday Junior.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Friday Eve. Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I know that means a lot for you because I know you pack a ton of work into your work week. And if you can, just please let our audience know a little bit about you, the work you're doing, and kind of what the career journeys look like.
Okay. Yeah. So, as you mentioned before, I am a partner development manager recruit here at Microsoft. And really, I started this role like last year in February. But prior to that, I worked at the United States Postal Service headquarters as a product manager, as well as a management analyst for their global business department. And really, in both my current and my previous roles, they're both focused from a global perspective, as I'm in the global team for both organizations. And I really attribute that to my master's, at least my first master's, in international business from University of Miami, where I'm from, city of Miami, Florida.
Okay.
And prior to that, had my bachelor's in management from University of Central Florida in Orlando. Also have my associates from Miami-Dade College, but most recently, I just got my second master's in biotechnologies from the University of Maryland Global Campus. So
that's the piece I was waiting for, that University of Maryland piece. Welcome to the land of the terrapin, my friend.
Yeah.
That's the piece I was waiting to hear about. I said, he's not going to slide my university, is
Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to get my second master's because one, I love biology, but I also wanted to kind of expand my horizons. After working at the Postal Service, I knew I had the capability to do more, and I just decided to go for it.
Man, do more. So let's stay right there for a second, because it's about doing more, right? And based on your educational accomplishments, it seems like you're really comfortable in the space of being a continuous learner. How has that supported and assisted you in, I guess, kind of making a pivot in a sense, like with the work you're doing now? Am I correct?
Yes. So it helped me make a pivot because I'm not sure if you're familiar with like strong and weak connections. So really the concept is, you have like the, I guess, environment and the people that you're really familiar with. So those would be your strong connections, right? But really, when you think about it, it's those weak connections, the things you don't really know too much about, that lead to more opportunities because you have an opportunity to grow in those spaces. So kind of like being in a small fish in a, I guess, small pool and going to a bigger ocean, you have more opportunity to grow. And I guess that did help in me pivoting to working for Microsoft. And even in my role here, where I support so many partners, in a very scaled motion, that has helped me in ways that, can only be like exemplified by the results that the partners are experiencing themselves. Because, I work with partners across every industry, partner type, and what is the other one? Solution area, in terms of what type of technology they use. So, being open to all this information and just continually learning and, even identifying more, I guess, stakeholders and people who can provide support as allies to the program that I'm supporting. It all really just starts by, thinking, how can I get more out of this, and where can I find these additional resources to become more well-rounded for the task ahead of me.
You know, I don't like to speak on things like this typically, but you guys appear to be doing a really good job of supporting. So I'm speaking to kind of what you're talking about, how you're supporting partners, right? But it seems like you guys do a really good job of supporting one another as well. I know, I've had some conversations with some people over there at Microsoft, and I've been really impressed at the BAM group, and things of that nature. Blacks at Microsoft and all of that. And then when this partner initiative came out, and just in communicating with you, you were always so guiding and caring. And because listen, as business owners and entrepreneurs and developers and things of that nature, we get busy just like you get busy, right? And I know there's been times where I'm like, listen, Daniel, I missed the boat on that one. I wasn't able to check in, or I wasn't able to get the information, and you've immediately sent it back to me and found a way to keep me connected. What do you credit that to in your own experiences?
Yeah, so I guess I credit that a lot to my, childhood. I come from a family of immigrants, and I also have a autistic older brother. So, even though we're 1 year apart, I've always been there, like supporting him, and really using, not necessarily using, but that experience has really taught me patience and, really just how to be a better listener and, be better at attending, just because, you never know what someone is going through. And, I've talked to plenty of partners and really got a better understanding of where they came from and how they got to this point, and wanting to become a Microsoft partner. And everyone has a different story, but there's always a commonality of just needing support and help. And I know for a lot of partners through this initiative, I'm really the first time they've met someone of African American descent from the organization, and it's like, wow, you're the person I've been looking for.
Yes.
And I personally wasn't expecting that myself, but it's like, as I tell the partners, I'm always here in your corner. Sometimes I might not respond as quickly as you need me to, but I will definitely respond eventually. But I do want them to know that there's someone in the organization, as well as a team of people in the organization, looking out for them and wanting to see them succeed as Black-owned businesses. So I guess to really answer your question, I guess it's just my upbringing and just always wanting to help people, just because I know what it's like to not have that support.
You mentioned your immigrant background. Where's your family from?
Oh, my family is from Nigeria.
Okay, excellent. There's something else you mentioned that kind of is dear to me. So my brother, he passed away, God bless the dead, but he was on the spectrum as well. He was autistic, and the listening part that you spoke about, and just kind of the caring piece, it gave me a better understanding of who you are and kind of how you view the world. And I think that's probably why I immediately kind of like locked in with you and wanted to learn more. I didn't know that, so thank you for sharing that piece.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so look, let's kind of move. Let's move forward. So you've navigated some really big places, man. The Postal Service, U.S. Postal Service. Now you're at Microsoft. Humongous organizations. You went to pretty big universities as well. So, but now you're working with probably smaller businesses that are maybe in the startup stage or in a stage where they really need that type of support and attention, to achieve their goals. So just as a career, what's kind of kept you aligned with your educational pursuits and the goals you've set to achieve, and how you've went about doing that? Like, what's kind of kept you on the straight path?
Yes. So, and I think if I understand you correctly, you're asking like, what are my goals, or like, what are my
Yeah.
motivations?
So it's probably a little simpler than that. Is there anything that you credit to your ability to, one, navigate all of those educational environments, and also to secure employment? So here's what happens. There's a big thing about Blacks in tech and not getting opportunities. But you came from the Postal Service, and secured an opportunity in a tech role. So I just want you to speak a little bit on that.
Okay. Yes. So what I can say is I can definitely attribute it to, just having people in my circle who were already at Microsoft and, they saw in me something I didn't even see in myself, just because I was coming from the postal service, and didn't have much, you know, background in technology. But, one day I just decided that, well, I have to trust in those who trusted me, and believe in me. And so, I really took the opportunity to prepare and just learn as much as I could about Microsoft and the organization and the role that I was going to be in. And, I had to leave the rest to faith and to God,
Yes.
to guide me through. I have a very supportive wife, who was also there, and my family overall who were there to support me and believed in me. And it's just really a matter of me believing in myself, to apply and then get the job because as the saying goes, closed mouths don't get fed. So it's like the worst that anyone can ever tell you is no. But I would rather hear that than imagine that as a possibility. So I think that answers one part of your question, but in terms, yeah,
keep going.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of the education, definitely the Nigerian expectations. If you've ever met any Nigerian, their education is the number one thing.
Got it.
I remember talking to one of my close friends this past Christmas season, and he joked about how his father kind of came to him and the rest of his siblings, like, which one of you is going to get your doctorates now? And we were just like laughing. It was like, yeah, I hear that. So I attribute that, but in addition to that, I think that in the world we live in today, things are changing so much that it's kind of hard not to want to get more educated, just because you never know what the next possibility is, and you want to make sure that you're prepared for that opportunity. And that's really why I decided to get my master's in biotechnology, just because I see a lot of trends in the world. Not even COVID, because that was actually a coincidence when I started my master's. But I feel like there hasn't been enough attention in the life sciences space, but that there's still a lot of opportunities there. And I just want to prepare myself for those opportunities when they arrive.
Man, I can appreciate that. So I think that's an excellent segue to where I'd like to go here. Typically on the Black Box App podcast, we ask people to speak to 3 levels of career, right? Entry level, mid-level, and senior level career. You've navigated the space. You just spoke about kind of positioning yourself and doing research on organizations that you have interest in. So I'd like for you to share your advice to our audience, which typically exists of Black men. And what would your advice be on how they should move forward in those career stages, entry level, mid, and senior level careers?
Okay. Yeah. So I will preface this that I'm still technically mid-career myself. I didn't start working until 5 years ago, but I would say for entry level, definitely do research not only in the roles that you want to be in the industries, but also where those roles are. I know with COVID, there is now the possibility of working from home, but at the end of the day, certain businesses and certain industries are, concentrated in certain cities. Even though, working in the United States Post Service wasn't my plan, I did, immediately understand or recognize that working and living in Washington, D.C. would definitely provide me with a number of opportunities that wouldn't be possible in any other city in America. So, in addition to, just the role and salaries and, industry, just where do you want to be and where are these things at? And, really using that as a North Star for where you want to start. I guess for mid level people in their middle of their careers or mid-level positions, I would say I would say ironically, or not ironically, but rather it would be good to see what's going on in the next level up. So for where do you want to be at the end of your career? Because at entry level, you kind of seeing like what works for you and what doesn't, and you should use that time because there's not that much. I don't want to say expectations, but it's you have the responsibilities that align to where you are in your organization. But once you're in mid level, you kind of start getting more into those middle management positions and whatnot. So there's more of expectation and the necessity for you to rapidly scale up. So I would definitely suggest for anyone in the middle career just to see what are people in the next position or in senior positions doing, either through researching job descriptions or even finding mentors in those spaces to kind of guide you through those same conversations and thoughts.
All
For
right.
senior,
So I'm going to
oh,
save you. I'm going to save you because you said that you're not senior yet, but you just
yeah,
walked right into it. It's the mentorship and the sponsorship piece.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
piece.
yes. No, I would definitely say that that is a very important piece. Especially as you grow and develop and mature, you know, I can understand not necessarily wanting to ask for help and stuff, stuff like that, whether that comes from experience or just pridefulness or anything of the sort. But at the end of the day, nothing that we experience, as human beings on this earth, um, happen by themselves. Like it always comes from a group effort of all the individuals around you. And I would say even now more than any time before, this is definitely a great opportunity to find mentorship because I think there's dozens of people out there who want to provide their support and see people like them or from previous or similar backgrounds succeed as well.
Man, yeah, I can appreciate that, especially coming from you and knowing what you're doing with the Black Partner Growth Initiative over at Microsoft. I think I'm a recruiter and I admire good hires. And I really believe you were an exceptional hire, man. I think you're the guy to do this work and
Thank you.
support. Yeah, I really do. I really believe that wholeheartedly. And your support and the efforts that you bring to that role, I think will serve tens of thousands of people when you're done.
Thank you. I mean, I'll be honest, I have heard like a lot of good feedback, but sometimes I felt like maybe I wasn't doing enough for the partners. But after talking to them, they do seem very, they are very appreciative of the work I've been doing. And it does seem to be making a difference in their businesses and lives. So, I appreciate that. And, I'm just going to continue to try to provide more resources and support to them.
Yeah, and I'm sure they appreciate it as well. That's a big piece of what we're trying to do with the Black Box app podcast and showcasing individuals like yourself that are doing amazing work. What do you believe? Why do you believe an app like Black Box is necessary?
Yeah, so I believe that a app like Black Box is necessary just because I know that there's always that initial fear of reaching out to really get connected to other people in your communities or just looking for support. Sometimes it could be for the reason I mentioned before, or it could just be like fear like of the unknown, really. And I think like that's really where most fears start from, just unknown. But I think that apps like Black Box provide opportunities for that information that was always out of reach to become reachable, through people in your own communities or even in other communities, but still share a common background, experiences, so that you can find that community where you can not only belong but flourish and thrive as well. And I mean, with COVID and everyone being at home, I mean, if you can't meet in person, you might as well find an app where you can create a community too.
It makes it different, right? Well, the app and then platforms like LinkedIn and other platforms out here, just social media in general, really allow you to tap into people that prior to this time, you weren't able to connect with people as seamlessly. So I think that's a great way to kind of close this out. How do you suggest the listeners and our audience stay connected to some of the work you're doing?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's easy. LinkedIn, of course, Microsoft owns LinkedIn, so it's not a sponsored ad or anything. But I'm always looking for new partners to support. We have a LinkedIn group for the Partners Rating Initiative, and anyone who follows me or is connected to me, you constantly see the work we're doing. I actually have a bunch of posts that I'm going to be publishing later today. But yeah, LinkedIn is where I'm at. And if you ever interested in joining the initiative, feel free to reach out to me because as our strategic lead has said, I've spoken to over 500 partners at this point, and we're only halfway through our goals. So yeah.
We're coming. Just give us a minute. We're coming. Listen, I want to thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate you and the work you're doing. It's been amazing to just take a peek into knowing you. So I thank you for the opportunity to do that. And thank you for supporting the Black Box app and the Black Box app podcast. Daniel Ikem, this has been amazing, man. I love the work you're doing once again with Microsoft and Black Partner Growth Initiative, and I wish you continued success, my friend.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Take care.